What's up, Facebook land? How are you on this beautiful, beautiful Sunday morning? It is 8:47, and I am here in Chicago, Illinois, and I'm actually doing Facebook in a place that I don't think I ever have done Facebook before. I'm doing Facebook from the comfort of my favorite place in the house, my bedroom. I am sitting here, and I actually got a class that was canceled today, and I was not mad at all because I was supposed to go out of town. So the fact that it was canceled, and I've been out of town probably for 6 or 7 weeks straight, I wasn't tripping at all. Y'all hear me? But I wanted to talk to you all today about this word called success. You know what's interesting is I have these Facebook things kind of slotted out for what I want to talk about or what I think I need to talk about. But it's always something in life or a conversation or an email or something that shifts me. So let me tell you the first thing that made me go this direction. I had a lady. She's from, I think, somewhere west, maybe Oregon. And she emailed me through my website, and she made this comment to me. She said, you know, I'm looking at your picture, and I'm looking at your description because I see you're doing the Premier Philly show. She said, and I looked at everybody's description. This is what the email, I'm paraphrasing it. I looked at everybody's description on the email about what they're doing in Philly in the business segment. And she said, I noticed, I read your class, and it sounds good now, but she wasn't really suggesting. She was telling me, I guess, what I should do. And she was saying that, why don't you teach something about investments? I don't understand why investing is not part of your course. And she went on to say something else, so I listened to it. And, you know, sometimes you get emails and you have to decide if you're going to respond, if you're not going to respond, is it even worth that? Woo, woo. But, you know, she was cool about it. I actually started to call her because she had a phone number on there as well. And so she was saying, I've been a salon owner of 30 years. I've been a hairstylist for 45 or something like that. And I'm a successful salon owner. That was the line that stood out to me. I'm a successful salon owner, and I would not have gotten that way had I not learned investing early. And I think part of your class you need to teach investing to people so they can do it when they're young. And she's telling me basically how I should do my class. So I read the whole article, and I proceeded to respond. And this is what I told her. I said, I respectfully say this. I said, but what my experience has taught me in my 30, almost 2 years of doing this, and then coaching for informally probably 20 years, and formally about 5 or 6, where meaning I got a real program. I'm not just doing it just to be doing it. I said what I found is, first of all, you cannot start teaching people about investments when they have no idea even how much money they make. They don't know how much they make in a day, in a week, in a month, in a year. They have no idea what a budget is. They have no idea really what's going out, what's coming in. You cannot tell a person, take from this pot that you don't even know what's in it, and tell them to invest something. You can't start there. So, you know, I went on to proceed with some of the other things that I was talking about, you know, and I wanted a response email. I haven't got one yet, but I was basically telling her, you can't really focus on going towards success until you first know what it is. You have to know, what does that mean to you? And I don't know what her idea of success was, because she said she was, again, a successful salon owner of high up 30 plus years. I don't know what that meant to her. I don't really know, because I do know, and I have lived long enough, even before coaching, to understand success is not the same to everybody. Everybody does not define success the same way. But there is something that does have to happen from everybody, whether you know what success is to you or not. So this sparked me to talk about what I'm going to talk about today. I'm about to go here with y'all today. When I bought this cup, y'all see this cup? This is the cup I drink out of every morning. And it says, proceed as if success is inevitable. Now, I don't care how much I drink out this cup, and I don't care how much I flash this in front of this screen or how much I read it, until you know what that means to you, you'll never get there. You'll never get there. So let me break down something. I pulled something off of LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn a lot too. And I'm going to read something. This guy, thank you, who said they love my hair, girl. Thank you. I'm going to read what this guy, his name is Eugene Adewuso. And it's just something I pulled up. Listen to this, y'all. success, and it's got in parentheses the opposite of failure. Success is the status of having achieved and accomplished an aim or objective. Now, first off, he didn't say anything in specific terms, but you got to have something you aiming at. You got to have something that is your objective. You got to have something. Okay, you can't be like the children of Israel just wandering aimlessly for all them years and had no idea where they were going or what they were doing. Okay, being successful means the achievement of desired visions and planned goals. I actually have my monitor under my iPad. Furthermore, success can be a certain social status that describes a prosperous person that could have gained fame for its favorable outcome. But then it goes on to say the dictionary describes success as the following: attaining wealth, prosperity, or fame. Now, you and I know we should. That is not the only way to succeed. Then it goes in to say how to define success in life. This was actually a pretty good article. The only that person can answer that question. No one can tell you what success really is to you, but I can't tell you some stuff that it isn't. I am neither nor willing to prescribe the ultimate definition of success, as that is not possible. Every person is thinking differently about being prosperous in life and the defining success in another way. So there can't exist a definition, a rock solid definition that is suitable for everybody. It can't exist. It is very important that you know exactly how to define success in your life. And this is the problem I find with my salon professionals. I'm going to put a pause there for a minute. I have asked every single one of you that has interviewed with me, coaching, if you walk up to me at a class, show, I don't care what it is. I've asked every single one of you all, if you were a salon owner, if you were a suite owner, whatever it is you said you were, why did you do it? Why did you open a salon? What made you go into a suite? I've asked these questions many times. And it's amazing to me how many people cannot answer that question. That's amazing to me. They fumble, they ramble. The only people that could answer that question are people that actually fell into that by default. Meaning that they had an owner that was ready to walk out, or it usually is some bad situation that put them in that. Those are the only people that are able to answer that question. But even still, if you ended up in a situation, if God blessed you, or for some God-forsaken reason, you ended up in this position, even though you didn't plan it. If you plan on being successful at it, you gotta be aiming your bow and arrow at something. You have to be saying, okay, I'm here now. Now what am I gonna do? You have to do that, or you will literally never achieve the success that you want. So let me keep going. Make yourself aware of that accomplishment. Success and prosperity is generally means to you in your life, whatever that is. Some might define success as having luxurious cars and a huge mansion, whereas others consider a life full of joy and happiness with their families as the true meaning of success. It ain't just about money. Once you have figured out what is important to you personally and professionally, you are able to focus on your visions and goals for life, and therefore set up a structured plan on how to achieve them. Did y'all hear me? Then it goes into more. One of the most important keys to achieve a successful life, again he stresses, is to know the meaning. What does that mean to you? And if you've lived long enough, you should be able, even if you ain't got it solid, you should be able to kind of figure out a little bit about what that is. The true meaning of success goes beyond the definition of success as having a lot of money, wealth, tangibles, earned degrees. Quite the opposite. The true success in life cannot, I'm going to say it again, true success in life cannot be measured, because the more that you advance your life, the more you find you create. Think about, I'll take John Maxwell, who is something I'm getting ready to say, which is what made me also think about combining what he says with this article. He talks about his life and what he has been able to accomplish has exceeded any level of success that he could have ever dreamed. The Bible talks about God will give us above all that we can ask or even think. That means your idea is here. But when you are really going in that direction, what you thought, the ceiling will blow off of it. And it'll exceed anything that you could even think about, because your brain, I dream big, y'all. I dream stupid big. And I know that God can allow me to go higher than that. And when it goes there, you'll hear people like John Maxwell say, I can't even explain what this is. I can't even explain what this feels like, because this is beyond my wildest imagination. But the only way to even get there is you still gotta first define what is it? Is it about my family? Is it about my job? Is it about other people? Is it just about money? What is it? And you have to work feverishly in that direction. And therefore, and I'm saying this to my salon professionals, because we can become extremely unfocused, trying to do everything at the same time, and you succeed at nothing. I don't believe in that jack of all trades, master of none is true. I don't believe you can do everything, at least not at the same time. You have to scale your life down into a group of maybe one or two, and you have to know yourself. If you can't juggle, if you can't walk and chew gum, you may have to focus on one thing at a time. And then as your life grows, like a tree. It starts off with a seed, and then eventually the branches sprout out. But we are so unfocused that we find ourselves just doing everything. And in actuality, you will succeed at nothing. That's what will end up happening. So you gotta at least streamline some of the things that you are trying to do, at least at a particular time, so you can then start to move in different directions. And let me finish this on up. Let me see where did I stop. Life cannot be measured. I said that part. This is the meaning of success. Not all trophies that people are collecting in their lives are inevitable success. Media and society often alludes us to think that success is only about living a life of extraordinary wealth and having a lot of tangibles. Well, then if that's the case, everybody, rich or wealthy, because they are not the same, would be extremely happy. You ain't gonna hear about nobody killing themselves. You ain't gonna hear about nobody depressed. You're not gonna hear about none of that if that's all it was about. And I'm not talking about people that really do suffer from mental issues or mental breaks. I'm not talking about that. Everybody out here does not have diagnosed mental issues. Some people literally just have not found that. But what they've done is they're chasing what the world says success is, and then they realize they wake up and they're not successful. I don't know if any of you all have watched Oprah like I did back in the day. I ain't missed a show. She had a show where she had all these people that had attained like ridiculous wealth. I mean, I'm talking about double digits, millions, triple digits, millions. They were in those financial brackets. And they woke up one day and said, I don't want it. And they gave it all away. I remember the one man that owned multiple casinos. He ended up giving all his casinos and all his stock to the workers. And he went and worked at the circus. He always wanted to work at the circus. And he just went into talking about how he thought this was the thing that he should run after. And it didn't get him there. It did not get him there. Okay? So then it says, but the meaning of success is to live a happy life, and to make this world a better place for everyone else. Now, one thing I can say, and I believe this to the depths of my soul, that the Bible talks about, it's Sunday, so I'm going to talk about God in church a little bit here. The Bible clearly says, I don't care what your idea of success is, only what you do for God is going to last. Only what you do for God really matters. And when God talks about what you do for him, he's talking about the gifts that he's given us and how we use them to build this kingdom and how we use it to help other people. It ain't just about you. Now that is the one thing I can unequivocally say. I don't care what you aspiring to do. It ain't just about you. People ask me, what's my idea of success? I tell them on my tombstone, at my memorial, funeral, whatever I decide to have, I want to know that the legacy that I built was about changing people's lives, about making people better, about literally having the means, the structure, the resources to literally make whatever I touch better. That's all I care about. I want to hear people, they stand in that line, and you know, people talk about people when they're dead and what they meant to them in their lives. I want every single soul, when they stand in that line that really knew me, to say when I met her, my life was better after I met her than before. That is the ultimate success to me. So when I talk about success, even when I talk about money, y'all know I talk about money. I tell people all the time, you know the reason I want to be rich. You know the reason I want to be wealthy. It ain't about me, because with money, you can move things. You can do more for other people. You can set up more that other people can take advantage of. I want to have resources and means and be incredibly wealthy, because it will allow me to do things like Oprah did. It will allow me to create a platform where others can come sit on my platform that I paid for and build their lives. That's what it's about for me. I am 100% crystal clear what I need to do, at least at this stage, because God will introduce you to some new stuff, to get to that place of inevitable success, or as my cup says, I'm going to proceed as if it's inevitable, because it is. But let me tell you what that does, because now I'm laser focused on what that is. I don't waste a lot of time doing stuff that I know is not in line with that. People ask me to do stuff all the time. Now I think about, is this in line with what I know I'm trying to do? And I'll say no in a minute. I don't care how much they're paying. I have turned away large lump sums of money. I'm not doing that. That has nothing to do with what I'm trying to do. So it ain't just about the money. Okay, so listen to this. I learned back in maybe, this is 19, so maybe 2000, early 2000s, before 2005. What I learned was people define success usually under 3 topics. Y'all listen to me. I actually have done a whole presentation about this, so y'all listen to me. People define success as either money, and obviously tangible stuff, people, or things. That's it. Generally, what your success, whatever it is that you have to do in any one of those arenas, will literally be about either making money, either building people, or either creating these franchises and this whole wealth of things. Whether it's people that, whether you're in the real estate, whether you like having multiple salons, whatever it is you into, this is generally what will happen with those people. So let me break down what that looks like. What I see, and this is what bothers me. When I started coaching, and I coach several groups now, several people. When I started coaching, I said, God, it is very difficult for me to help you do anything when you don't know what you want to do, when you have no idea where you're trying to go. And so what it forced me to do was, it forced me to back up and say, okay, let me observe this and let me figure out how to do this, because only you can truly define your meaning of life and what your purpose is. Now, I can listen to you for months and months and years, and I can maybe kind of figure something out, but only you can define it. And let me tell you what else happens. That happens in my coaching. I have a program. I have a rock solid program. We start here with the program. People never finish some of this stuff, and then the next time I talk to them, they done flipped on to something else. And they now, how about nigga, what you think about me starting to do microblading? What you think? I'm like, what happened to the last thing? We don't follow through with anything. That's another thing. These are killers of your success. If you don't follow through with something, if you do not make a decision to not be all over the place because you're just trying to figure it out, it is a killer of success, guys. And I can't figure out whether it's money, whether it's people, whether it's things. It makes a coach. There are several different types of coaches out here. But one thing I can tell you, with any of them, If we cannot some kind of way extract out what it is that you really are shooting for, then all of us are wandering aimlessly like the children of Israel for 400 years. We just wandering. And then years. And one thing that will happen, guys, and let me tell you this. Time don't stand still, and change is inevitable. Things will change around you even if you don't. Things will move around you even if you don't. Everything in the world will be different and you still stuck because you haven't learned. If you don't get but one thing from this, learn the power of focus. Learn the power of focusing on less things. I didn't say one, it might be two. Learn the power of focusing on less things, letting them work. You know, we talk about the millennials abandoning stuff. Now, some of y'all old heads abandon stuff too. Because you can't focus. Because you get in these situations. And this is where the title of this Facebook Live was, if experience was the best teacher, why do we do things twice? You know why? Because we don't focus. Because we literally, we get in a jam. We don't sit back and try to figure out what is this about. Then we go feverishly just trying to focus on something else and doing something else. And what ends up happening? We end up in another jam. Oh, I got one better than that for y'all. I teach money classes, right? You know, I teach a segment called Money Does Matter. Because it does. I don't care what your idea of success is. You still got to have a couple dollars. How many of us have ever paid all your credit cards off? Anybody ever did that? If y'all ever paid your credit cards off, wave your hand for me. Put a heart up for me. Do something. How many of y'all paid your credit cards off? Swore you never charge them back up again, but you didn't cut them. Swore I ain't doing that no more. And you charged them back up. You did it right back again. How many of you all have gotten yourself out of any type of jail? We look at history. We look at people in dating that end up with the same people. We look at all of these examples of how we have been through these experiences. We've been through them more than once. And we keep doing them over and over and over and over again. And then what happens is I get people that come to me and they're at 20 years in the game, 30 years in the game, 15 years in the game, and they are totally disgusted and almost in a state of depression with themselves because they can't understand how can I keep going through this, because it definitely ain't getting you to no kind of success at all. Why is it that I keep going through this? And you know what I tell them? I'm going to use John Maxwell's line. He says this in many of his books. John C. Maxwell, if you haven't read his book, just grab any of them. They all good. He says, experience alone is not the best teacher. It is only when you reflect on your experiences do they become insight. I'm going to say that again. Experience alone is not the best teacher. Because if that's the case, you wouldn't go through stuff twice. Only when you reflect, only when you sit down and say, hold up, what, first of all, ask yourself, why am I doing this? If you charging up all your cars constantly, ask yourself, what is it? Why am I, every time I get depressed, every time I get a little unfocused, why do I eat like a cow? Why do I go shopping every time that I get in this rut, with this feeling, whatever that is? Why is it that I choose unproductive, sabotaging, detrimental things to my life to make me feel better? You have to sit down and be honest with yourself. Why am I doing this? You got to first figure out why. In that reflection time, when you find yourself, you keep hitting this same wall. Why am I doing this? And you got to be honest with yourself. And even if it means you got to talk to somebody to help you be honest. You talk to me, I'm going to help you be honest, because I'm not going to let you say anything that I'll tell you in a minute. No, that ain't true, and that ain't it. You have to be honest with yourself. Once you determine that this has become my default setting, every time I get in this jam, my default is I go eat. My default is I go shopping. My default is I do nothing. I check out. For those of you all that heard my video about checking out, my default is everything I do becomes counterproductive. You have to change that. You got to rewire your brain to say, you know what, instead of me going shopping, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean out my garage. I'm going to go to the gym. I don't care what it is. You have to find productive things to replace that default setting. You have to, or you will find yourself falling back into that same rut when you've been through this experience over and over, and you will not inevitably achieve any level of success. You're just going to be a hamster in a wheel, go around and round and round and round and round and round. It's never going to happen. And so this is what I see with a lot of the people, my salon owners especially the older ones, been in the game 15 years and above. They're in a hamster wheel. They're just existing. What I also know is I don't think anybody is in this world just to exist. I don't believe that. I don't believe your idea of success is just existing, just paying bills, going to work, maybe having a vacation every now and again. I don't believe that's anybody's idea, no matter what your idea is. So the key thing is you must reflect. You must push pause sometime. I call it, when I have to do it in my own life, I call it turning down the noise. That's when I ride in the car, no music. That's when I literally take every moment I can to detach from people. That's when I say I just need to think. That's when I come in the house, I sit in my chair on the side of my bed, and I just think. That's when I go into, I read anyway a lot, but that's when I go into major reading mode. If I am in my car and I got something on, it's usually an audio book, because at this point I know I need to turn the rest. The world is noisy. You got kids, you got husbands, you got jobs, you got workers, you got this, you got that. It gets noisy. And it makes it hard to focus sometimes. So you like, I got to turn the noise down. I got to bring it all the way down. And you do only what you, and depending on how bad your situation is that's killing your success, you may have to literally give some people 50 feet. Like, you know what? I'm not going to fool with them right now because they throw me way off. I'm a fast from people. See, you don't just fast from food. I'm a TV junkie. I'm a movie junkie. In that cycle, shut the TV off. Shut the TV. I ain't seeing no movie because I watch movies over and over and over. I work to movies. Shut it off, because it is still taking some of my mental energy and pulling it in another direction. I have to turn the noise down. I got to say, you know what? This is killing my success. I'm not able to literally focus like I need to, so I need to get some of these distractions. You know, distractions are just as bad as procrastinating. I don't know if y'all know that. When they talk about the killers of your time or the killers of your success, procrastinating, waiting, lack of focus, distractions, this is what will literally kill your success. You have to know when it's too much of it and say, let me push pause, let me reflect. Okay? You have to be able to do that. I talked about money. Let me go back to that. Some people define money as their success. Okay, I ain't got no problem with that. If that's success to you, your thing is to attain a certain level of riches for whatever reason, do you. But this is the thing, y'all. How many of y'all have started your salons without a dime? You started your salons without no money from nowhere. You haven't even figured out how to accomplish it or done some research on how to get it, how to set up this business. You haven't. Where the money going to come from then? It's not going to fall out the sky. If money is you and you say, look, I want to make some money, then you need to be learning better. And I'm going to say this, and some of y'all may not agree, but to be able to do better with your finances, or as God says, be a good steward over the resources that he's given you, you have to first start getting your personal finances in order. Do not think you can be raggedy personally and be great with money professionally. It is not going to happen. If you raggedy in your personal life with money, you're going to be raggedy professionally. And let me tell you, this is real talk. And John Maxwell says this all the time too. He says the hardest thing in life to manage is yourself. And that is the truth. Being a coach and always having people ask me for instruction or being put in a position to give instruction, it's easy to tell other people what to do. It ain't nothing hard about that. But can you also do it? When you if you got a salon and you tell everybody to park over there, do you also park over there? When you tell people not to be late, are you also on time? It is easier to teach people what you really live. If you don't live it, I'm telling you, And God will allow your stuff to be exposed. If you ain't really living it, you literally can find yourself exposed to the people who you have instructed to go a certain way, because you become what we call a hypocrite, or you become a facade, or you become whatever name you want to give it. If you want to really be successful with your money, with your business, then you also focus on your personal money. When I tell people to get out of debt, that's because I done it. When I tell people to get this right, that's because I done it. I ain't telling you nothing I ain't done. I tell people in ministry, I can't speak on that because shoot, I'm still trying to get that together. You as leaders, as people that are in charge, and that is who I speak to. The people who make decisions, the people who got a right and a reason, and you've gotten people to listen to you. You have to be the example even when they ain't looking. That's what true integrity is. Integrity is if you go in a grocery store and you come out and you realize something was in your cart you didn't pay for, a person with integrity, even when don't nobody know, is going to go back in the store, take that thing back, pay for it, or do something. They ain't going to make no big to do about it. They doing it right because it is right to do. It is these principles that will even make you better with money. So the lady that hit me up with that email, fine. I believe wholeheartedly in investing. But I realize I can't start y'all there. Because I got to get you focused first. I got to get you focused. I got you understanding how money moves. What happens when I put $2 over here? Y'all open a savings accounts. Don't open no savings account if it can't make you at least 2.75 or more on your money that's sitting there. That's a whole nother conversation. But all of these things I'm talking about, guys, is hindering our success, whatever it is. Okay, let's talk about people. This is amazing to me. And I'm going to say this, and y'all might be mad. I don't care. I don't want to hear another soul, not another soul, say I'm opening a salon, and all I care about is if I make enough money to be able to pay for everything up in here. I don't even care if nobody up in here. I don't want to hear another soul say that. Let me tell you why. If you look at it that way, you are not going to work hard at getting other people. And let me tell you when that's going. Holler at me in about 3 years after you've done that. When you taking all your money, you still doing hair, you taking all your money, spending, paying every bill at the shop. Then you got to take the little bit of money that's left and still pay for stuff at your house, and then you realize all you're doing is working to pay bills. Holler at me then when that becomes your reality. When that becomes your reality, I want to see how much you are all right with it then, because you're not going to be. If you, and now this is something that I have gotten. When I ask people, why you want to open a salon? Why have you opened one if you already did it? They'll say, I hear this. I don't know if this is the anthem or if this is real or what. I want to try to build a team that can work together. It's like a broken record. So I don't even know if this is real or if this is just something they heard. I want to build a team that can work together and we can, go to shows together and they want to build this family unit. So the first thing I tell them, okay, then why would you open your shop and you never did any research or homework before you opened it on how to get people? Why is that? Why is that you open a shop with 12 chairs and it never occurred to you that I need some bodies in these chairs? It never occurred to you. You just spent all your time online looking for furniture and looking for all this, I call it she, poo-poo stuff. And I ain't got no problem because I've always had nice spots. But what I do realize is pretty don't pay. Pretty don't pay the bills. I do realize that just having some pretty chairs with nobody behind them is not helping you. That is not helping you. Okay? We got to do different. If you say people is what you want to do, then the first thing you should have thought about when you were opening your salon are who are the people that's going to make this thing whole? Where am I going to get them from? Where am I going? How am I going to vet them out to make sure they're the right kind of people? How is that never part of the equation? It baffles me. I ain't never had a salon and didn't have people before open the doors. I don't even know nothing about that. I don't even understand. I'm going to tell y'all, coaching all these years, I don't get that. And don't y'all be telling me that God told y'all. No, God told you to do some work. That's what God said. God said, God has blessed me with stuff that I had no idea that God was going to move me in that direction. That wasn't even my focus. But let me tell you what happened. When God opened them doors and said, now I want you to go this direction, I went into straight research mode. I looked at it, if nothing more, as I don't want to be a bad steward. I don't want to disappoint God in what he has blessed me with. So I got to learn some stuff. Okay, God, you gave me this. Lord, I don't even know how I got this. I wasn't even trying to get this. Okay, God, I want to do right by this. So what do I need to learn? What do I need to read? Who do I need to talk to? Where do I need to go? I would rather you even did that, because God will. Sometimes God will just move you in a direction and you like, Lord. And it's a blessing. It is truly the way he wants you to go. But you still got to do the work. You still got to learn something about this thing that God has blessed you with. You still have to learn how to move, what to do with it, how much money it needs, who needs to help me do. You still got to do that. You cannot negate that, guys. And that's what I see over and over and over again. And it breaks my heart, because I am working feverishly to help people maneuver through these things. And I told y'all 1,000 times, I ain't no life coach, but I finally decided to go to school to be life coaching, because I got to help y'all figure it out. Let me go and learn about how to get you to move. What are these things? Because you know, life coaches deal with your past. Business coaches deal with your future. You have health coaches that deal with the things internally from a health standpoint that will help or not help you. You have financial coaches that deal with your money and your financial future. You have success coaches who help you put it all together, and they just help you navigate through a little bit of all of those things. You have all these different coaches. And I said, God, let me learn. So I paid 15 grand, y'all. 15 grand. Let me learn how this works, because I can't give up on them, but I got to get them to shift. I got to give them to realize that God gave us the most awesome industry on the planet, as far as I'm concerned, because you can wake up and say, I want to do something different. I won't do that no more. And you can set it up and just move. You ain't got to wait for nobody to tell you what to do. Now we got digital marketing and digital media that allows us to expand ourselves as far as we want to go, to a reach we would never be able to get to. This business, the salon industry, the beauty industry, I don't care if you're a barber, esthetician, I don't care what seat you sit in it, if you are willing to do the work. Because you see this again, for some of y'all just came on, success is not inevitable if you don't do the work. It's not. I don't care what you define. So that's people, y'all. Then we talk about things, okay? Because it's usually defined, for some of y'all that just came on, success is usually defined somewhere in one of these brackets. Money, people, and things. And you can have multiples. Things. That's people that they like to buy a lot of real estate. They like to have franchise. That's a franchise value. That's how the Solars and the Salon Lofts and the Phoenixes, and that's how even the corporate salons, that whole mentality came from somebody who wanted to reproduce something over and over again. Let me tell you something about y'all that think that way. If you want to reproduce yourself over and over again, you want to get a shop, and I've talked to many of you all that say this is what you want to do. You want to get a shop or a school, whatever. You want to build it up, then you want to go get another one, and then another one, and then another one. Let me tell you what you're going to have to do. You're going to have, let me see if I can say this word right. Simon Sinek says these big old words I'll be having to define them while he's talking. I may not be saying this right. He says you have to be extra, I can't even say it, guys. It's a word, I didn't even know it was a word. In other words, you have to be really aggressive about being organized. That's what the word means. I'm going to get that word. It's an extra something word. You have to be so organized. You have to have, I have what is called a logical linguistic personality. Okay? You need to learn about what personality you have. It'll teach you a lot about yourself. There are several books out. I think it's 8 total on the different personalities. Different personalities. Mine is naturally in order. When it says logical, if stuff ain't in order, it drives me bananas. If it's not, if one come after two, I find myself, if I go to your house and let's say you got artifacts, little bitty artifacts, I think they're supposed to be according to the size, like little, then bigger, then bigger, then bigger. My mind automatically works that way. So I find myself not when I'm supposed to in people's stuff, rearranging stuff. It's like I can't not do it. Drives me bananas because I think one should come before two, and then two should come before three, and that's my natural personality. Okay. And linguistic means that words matter to me. It means that how things are written, how things are said, how things are spoken, that's my natural personality. But in order for me to be that way in my business, I also have to care about structure, which I do. I have to care about order. The only way you can create what is called a scalable business, which is things, meaning something that can be done here, it's got a step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it's ironclad. That has to be transferable over to someone else where they can literally duplicate what you just did. If they can't duplicate it, you are not yet ready to expand to have all these things. You have to have something that is organized, that is structured, that because, hey, when you start having all this stuff, you can't be in one place at one time. You're all over the place because you got to make sure all this stuff stays where it needs to be. So that means in your personal life, you need to work on being organized, being structured, having some type of system. Because if you don't, when you start buying stuff, your ideas, I want a franchise, you ain't going to be able to do it. Because this one is not going to operate like that one. And it's like however you feel that day, that's how it operates. How many of y'all been to restaurants where you go there often and the food ain't never the same? It ain't never the same. It's good one week, bad the next week because they just shaking stuff and do. This really hinders you from having a successful anything because you haven't figured out the system and the structure that allows it to be consistent. You haven't figured it out, so you winging it. Every single time you do it. Y'all know I teach color. I teach color. This is the thing that gets us all jammed up with color is if we don't have a system in place on how we formulate, how we do this. Once you get it, that once is right, you got to follow that same formula the next time you do them and the next time and all of this. This is what will hinder you from increasing and getting to that idea of success where I want to have things. When I die, I want to have stuff to really leave people. I want to have stuff to be really to fight over, which that shouldn't happen either. That's wills and trust. That's another conversation, another day. But in order to do this, guys, you have to manage your personal life, meaning work harder at being organized. You're going to have to be regimented. I had a person tell me this, and I understood it, but I did have to correct her. I was preaching to her about what it is that she wanted to do and how she had to get in some type of regimen. Now, I'm a naturally regimented person, so it's easy for me. I can get up. You can set your watch to what I'm going to do. And I'm very predictable, and that don't bother me. I like that way. I told her she's going to have to be a little more regimented because it's one way this day, the next thing the other day. You know what she told me, guys? She said, I think being regimented is boring. I said, I can see how you see that because I think I'm boring. And that's okay. She said, but let me tell you something. Then you may have to embrace being a little bit boring to get what you're trying to get because what you doing ain't working. It's not working. And you know it ain't working. So whatever you think about being regimented, you're going to have to, if this is you, and this happened to be her. She wanted to do this salon commission, flip it, do another one. She had kind of this commission / kind of corporate structure. She wanted to flip it. I said, until you get in some type of until you get regimented, you can't even delegate what needs to be delegated to the people who got to help you do this so you can walk away. You can't even do it. If you're not regimented, unless you got, and say you got an assistant, how you going to tell the assistant what to do? You don't even know because it's not a regimen. You can't tell. You can't just say, watch me. I see a lot of you all hire assistants to help you shampoo or whatever they do. You just say, watch me. No. You got to have a system. You got to have a step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on what you want him or her to do. You got to have a regimen on how you want them to proceed with getting this client and then that client and getting this ready so they're ready by the time your chair is open. I'm telling you, if things, now this may not be you, if things are what you want to produce, you have got to embrace structure, logistics, systems. They got to become your new best friend. If that is a problem for you, then I suggest you work on that personally. If you only got one shop and you didn't figure all that out, I suggest you learn how to do that while you got one. It's amazing to me how some of y'all have one thing and it ain't working, and your idea of fixing it is going to get another one. I ain't figured that out yet. How's the second one going to help the first one and it ain't working? So I don't understand that. But these are things, guys, that wherever you fall in the spectrum, money, people, things, there is a system of things that you need to know. You need to do some homework. You need to read some stuff that does not have pictures in it. All of you I've heard is leaders read. If I ask half of you all on this Facebook, how many of you all consider yourself a leader, it would probably be at least 99% of y'all, but y'all don't read nothing. Leaders read. I'm sorry. They do. You have to read. You have to constantly stretch your brain to have more information than the people who are under you. It amazes me. I teach color. I have a segment called Color Me Crazy. I've been doing it for years. It's a whole educational program, and it actually now is a community. I've started a Color Me Crazy community. So I've bridged a lot of different things and different people. And it's amazing to me when I teach this program, I tell people that in order to do color is not a natural gift. Some of us have rolled off of our talent, off of our gift. We don't know how we able to do what we do. We just can't. Color is not that thing. It's not. It is the thing that you're going to have to think. You're going to have to read some stuff. I had a guy tell me who's a social media influencer. I won't say his name. But I had him tell me, I watched a couple of his videos and they're excellent. I complimented him on them, told him these are some of the best videos I've ever seen with what he does. I asked him, why don't you incorporate a little color in what you do? He was honest with me, guys. Guess what he said? He said, I don't do it because color requires me to think too hard. I got to think too much. I got to focus and think, and I don't want to do that. Well, that's his right. But I did tell him this. I said, you do know that unless you figure out how to expand this gift in whatever way, whether it's color or something else, your gift can remain stagnant or die. I'm saying this to you. Unless you figure out how to expand your talents or how to take your talents from behind the chair to maybe doing something else in the salon, for all of you salon owners / crazy working stylists, unless you figure out how to expand that gift, you're going to stay in that position. And like I told you earlier, the world going to change, whether you do or not. Time don't stand still for nobody, whether you do or not. And you're going to wake up and you're going to be in this same place doing the same thing, and people going to be on to something else, and what you doing ain't interesting no more. You all heard the word, you have to reinvent yourself. That's the truth. You have to reinvent what you're doing, how you're doing it, why you're doing it. It's just like a person in the record industry that makes an awesome, freshman CD, where the sophomore CD got to be better. The junior CD got to be better than the sophomore CD. Every time you do well in something, and this is where I think some of you all get a little afraid. To do well in something means that you have to actually kick it up. That means the next time you got to bring it. You got to work harder. You got to do it better every single time you do well. And this is where the stress and the struggle and the oh my God and the tiredness and the working at hours you don't want to work, reading stuff because you need to know what's in it. And I have people, where I was going with that as far as the teaching, I have people that come to that Color Me Crazy program and they say, Nikki, I want to teach people color. I want to be a colorist. I want to actually educate in that arena. This is the first thing I do. So if any of you all are interested, hit me up online, knowledgebynikki1k.com. Everybody goes through the same thing. Don't nobody skip no steps. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have you set up a 90-minute interview. And I'm going to ask you about 100 questions These 100 questions are questions I have pulled from years of doing classes that people ask me. So I didn't create them. I'm going to pull these questions out and I'm going to ask them. If it go over 90 minutes, I don't care. I'm going to ask you these questions and you're going to answer them. And it don't have to be a specific answer, but it's got to be in the realm of what's correct. And I have, if I interview 10 people, 2 of them get it where they have over 60%. The reason I do this is because what I'm trying to show you is when you become the teacher, when you become the leader, you need to know at least 10 times more than the people who you standing over. You ain't got to know everything. I don't know everything. And I'll tell you, girl, I don't have a clue about certain stuff. But you need to know more than the people that you're teaching. So when I do this with them, they usually say it. I usually don't have to say it. They be like, girl, I ain't ready. I ain't ready. And I don't do this to embarrass them because it's just me and them. I do this to show them when you put yourself in the position where you are now the owner, the leader, you're over people, you want, money, people, or things, it doesn't matter. You have to keep yourself ahead of the average person that's in your group. You're not going to do that by doing more hair. You're not going to do that by doing the next trichology person. You got to learn about that. You got to keep learning. You have to continue the mindset of being educated, learning. You're going to have to read, y'all. I'm sorry. You don't want to pick up a book? I hated reading. You don't want to pick up a book? I started with audiobooks. Maybe this will work. Maybe I listen to it. And then eventually I started to love information. I always loved information, but I really loved it. That's what started me to saying, okay, God, you blessed me with this platform. You blessed me with this arena. What am I going to do with it? Because you will lose it if you don't do something with it. You will lose it. Your talent is not enough. John Maxwell writes that book too. Talent is not enough. You're not going to be sustained. Your money ain't going to be sustained off of mere talent. If you want to help nurture people, it's not going to be sustained off of just talent. If you want to increase the things you have, which these are all success concepts, you're not going to be able to do it on mere talent. It's not going to happen, guys. So you have got to expand your mind. You got to know how to decompress when you need to. You got to know how to push pause. You have to learn, and this all goes back to what John Maxwell says, is that the only way experience becomes a great teacher is when you reflect on it. Once you reflect, then that reflection and what you learn in that cycle becomes true insight, and insight becomes wisdom. That is how it works. I don't care personally, professionally, if you don't want to keep repeating the same cycles of being a hamster in a wheel, you're going to have to push pause and do this. So let me tell you what I did. And I'm saying this for my past coachees, as well as the ones that I still coach, and I just signed up several. I have decided, and I may end up phasing out some of my other coaching programs because of this. This has been riding on me for a minute. I was talking to Chris Bond, who is the guy that does all my videos. He helps me with some marketing thing. That's my brother. And I said, Chris, I'm doing these coaching groups, and for the most part, they're doing well, but something is missing. When I talk to people, they're all over the place. It's hard to keep them focused. It's hard to get them to do assignments, to do this, and it's becoming very frustrating for me. I said, what I find myself doing to help them is really more of a one-on-one, or what we call a custom coaching situation, because everybody got a whole something different that they're dealing with. This one-on-one, though, I know for a fact, actually being an owner for 21 years and I let people live with me, took them under my wing, the whole nine. I know this ownership requires me to have a little more hands-on approach, a little more communication, meaning we can't just talk once a month. We got to talk once a week or once every other week. It's going to require me to go where they are and literally sit down with them, their staff, all of that. So what I did, guys, and I did this because I was like, God, now this is what I said, but if I'm going to do this, God, I got to have the time in the game to do this, to travel to, I'm already traveling, to travel to them, to do this. So I'm talking to my friend Chris about this. And I said, hell, I'm doing one-on-ones anyway, so I might as well make it official. I said, Chris, but if I do a one-on-one program, which I do everything I do in the other programs, all of that, plus I talk every week or every other, depending on which one, I actually come to you, I sit with your staff, I train assistants for you. I do the work for you and make you learn how to do it. I said, hey, I got to get the time. So what I did first, I set myself up. Before I even did this, I'm going to tell you what he told me to call it. I set myself up time-wise. Now, y'all know I'm trying to get up from behind the chair anyway. I only do hair 4 days a week. I set myself up time-wise. I got rid of some other stuff. I said, because I'm going to have time to do this. So I talked to Chris about it. I said, look, I got that set up. So now I have more time to literally run all over and do this. But Chris, I have no idea what it should be called. No idea. Chris said, well, Nick, you always got these sayings. You always got these things that you say. Why don't we name it after something that you say all the time? I said, I don't know what I say. Somebody else got to tell me that. He actually told me what I'm telling you all. He said, I've heard you say many times about people reflecting on their experiences, people reflecting and figuring out what went wrong so they don't say it again. He said, so why don't you call it reflections? I said, sound like a plan. So that's what I did, guys. If you go on my website, I have a program now called Reflections. It is a one-on-one with me. And y'all, it ain't cheap. So you got, because that means when I say I already got like 6 people in it, I go to them. I sit down. I do I'm more than a Black Tabitha. I go deeper than that. I sit with them. I sit with their staff. I train them. I talk to these people every week. I hold them accountable. I bring them here if I need to. When I say it is, I almost become your agent. I almost become your, I don't want to say personal assistant because I do it more in a leadership capacity, but that's what I do. In order for me to do that, and I already have actually it's more than 6. It's some other ones that are kind of in that program. I decided to do this because I want to see real change. I don't want to hear about y'all still doing the same stuff because you haven't figured out the what, the whys, the how. I'm going to help you do it and hold you accountable. So, if you are interested in Reflections, you can go right on my website. It's a beautiful, he did a great flyer. I started doing it even before he actually did the flyer. It's called A One-on-One with Me. I literally will walk you through. I don't care what aspect you trying to fix, whatever. Again, I joined and I'm taking still a life coaching program, so it has enabled me to understand some of these things that keep you from moving. I am a change agent. That's what I am. I want people to change. I want to see people live the ultimate lives that they want to live. And I realize the only way to do that is to literally put myself in a closer proximity to them to help them. So there's a lot of people that are still in my coaching programs and are from past programs that heard me mention this a little while ago. And they asked, is there any way they could rejoin? And, they've already paid for something. Get a lesser price? Definitely. If all of them know my direct number, so y'all can call me and we'll talk about it. If you want to join this group, and this ain't no punk, don't come to me if you ain't ready to move. Don't come to me if you have no money, because I have to pay for all this stuff. I'm even paying for a lot of the people that, like certain accountants and certain social media managers, areas that I am not the strongest in, and these people are part of my community. I'm paying them. You're not paying them. I'm paying them for you. Okay? So this is a group called Reflections, and it allows me to treat each one of you as an individual. Your situation is this what we gonna deal with. And I'm gonna be very instrumental in helping you get there. Again, it ain't cheap. Now, I ain't trying to take all your money, but it's gonna cost you a little bit to do that. And I have monthly, weekly, I got all the same stuff. So I will tell you, for some of you all that If you're not looking at least $400 a month, don't call me. If you don't have at least $400 a month to do this, then get it and then we'll talk. Okay? Because I get people that call me and it costs. It's going to cost for me to do this and pay these people and the time. I'm giving up potential money that I can make in other areas because I want to help people get it. Okay? This is where this will be inevitable. It will not happen until you focus, get serious, and say, I'm going to do this. I have people coming to me saying, Nick, what you think about doing this? I tell them, do it for what? That ain't got nothing to do with what you're trying to do because I'm trying to keep you focused. Now, if it's something you can say, this might be something I want to do later, gather the research. I'm going to teach you how to start chronicling and filing information that you can use for later. You ain't got to try to do it all right now. But right now, if you're in a jam, the first thing is getting you out of the jam. And then from there, we're going to work towards whatever your idea of success is. That is what I am doing. It is growing. If I could think of that word that Simon Sinek says, existentially or something like that. It is growing in a way that it has, it's okay, I got to give up my time over there. I don't have a problem with that. Because this is my idea of success, is in literally leaving a legacy where people's lives were better after than before. And the only way to do that is I can't just send you information and you do it, because everybody is not that disciplined. Some of you all are. Some of you all are great. I send you information, we talk, I get it structured. You come back to me 30 days later and it's done. And we talk about it and we do it. I realize everybody doesn't learn that way. Everybody is not able to do that unless someone is literally holding them accountable every week, all the time, making sure. Also I've went to people and done this and sat in front of their workers, and I was able to get things out of your workers that they wouldn't tell you. They wouldn't tell you that, but they told me. And so now I'm able to help your business with things that you didn't know, because the workers would never tell you that. So I have meetings with your workers. I have meetings with you separate. I'm literally able to tell you this is how they really feel. This is what they need. This is what you hear me talk a lot about retail. I'm going to be there present with you, setting up your retail centers, setting up helping you and me, because I got to have your information also about how to get with these companies where you got to have a wholesale license. Some of you have struggled with even finding how to get it in your state. I got 2 assistants, one virtual and one that brick and mortar that sits and works for me. I am now paying people to not just help me, but to also help you. This is what I know is the only thing that's going to get some of you all that have been struggling to get to the levels of success and the type of success that you want. You need help beyond just me talking to you. You need me to help you do it. So that is something. If you're interested, you can also hit me up on 1-800-580-8074. That's also on my website. You can send me an email on the website. Text me at that 1-800-580-8074. You can go on and go ahead and schedule for your consultation, because I'm going to pick your brain, because I got to see what is it that you're trying to do, etc., etc. And I am here to serve you. But again, guys, experience is not going to teach you anything until you reflect on that experience. So I want to see you be successful in whatever that means to you. I say all the time, I'll meet you at the top, because my goal is to get there. My goal is to get there. And when we all at the top, we all may not be doing the same things, but we all will have similar stories about we put the work in, we put the time in, God showed us favor, and now we're here. And again, it doesn't stop there, because God will blow the roof off for you and take you to levels that, what he say, he'll give you above what you can ask or even think. All right? You only thought here. God said, no, I'm going to take you a little higher. You like, good Lord, I didn't know I could go that high. Okay? So if you don't call me, text me, or email me if you're not serious about moving. Don't do it. Holler at me when you're serious and you know you just need some help. You hit a wall. How do I move past this wall? That's where I come in. So I'm getting ready to go. I'm at home. My husband's up here. I'm starving. I'm getting ready to go have me some dairy-free breakfast. Y'all know I can't do dairy. And then we might go to the gym and work out and sweat a little bit. All right? So peace out. I love my Facebook audience. I thank you all for listening to me. I don't take it for granted. Whether I think what I have is something to say or not, y'all still don't have to listen. So I thank God for you. Have a wonderful Sunday, and I'll meet you at the top.